to another episode of Alternate Alpha with Marcus Ericsson at the wheel of the Alfa Romeo. And as we can see here, our new rival is Lance Stroll down in the bottom right hand corner, because we've had a bit of a scuffle with him in the past. We're currently lying 7th in the championship with 46 points, whilst our teammate Kimi Räikkönen is down in 12th position with 17 points. The last few races have been really good, and the Silverstone race especially, where we had to fight our way back up the grid from 20th position. Then we had the German Grand Prix, which was a real battle once more, and I'm hoping for more of the same here in Hungary. As we can see here, we're on intermediate tyres, so we've got a wet weather session. If we go to the session information, it doesn't look like it's going to clear up, so we are going to be qualifying on the intermediate. Have not obviously gone around the Hungary ring yet in the wet, so you might have to bear with me a moment while we just get acclimatised to the conditions. But let's get ourselves out there, let's get ourselves a time on the board and see where we stack up in comparison to everybody else. Obviously the biggest challenge that we're going to have here is that we've not raced around here in the wet yet, so we have to work on our braking distances, which is the first thing there that we've had to come across into that corner. So I'm going to have to make some adjustments in that respect throughout the course of a lap. It is a bit of a fact-finding mission in this first lap, so I'm not expecting it to actually be too quick relative to the competition as we try to find ourselves some grip around the circuit. So we've picked up quite a bit of time here, second up on our delta. Slidey through that last corner. Lost a bit of time, but it's not too drastic a loss. And that puts us in P10 at the moment. Okay, so we finished down in 13th. Pretty far off the pace, if I'm honest. 2.4 seconds is the gap to Pierre Gasly. But we have to really peg ourselves against our teammate, and Kimi Räikkönen only managed a 1:32.9, which put him another 0.3 adrift, so we can't be too displeased with how things are actually shaping up for us there. And we still managed to out-qualify our rival Lance Stroll. So let's get ourselves into the race scenario, and let's remember that this is supposed to be a dry race, having just had a wet qualifying, so hopefully we will do much better in the dry during the race. What we really need to cover here, which we haven't got to so far, is the R&D tree and where we now lie in the vehicle performance comparison chart. We're now 4th position, having had a really decent run at the updates in the last few races. However, there was a couple of pieces that didn't actually carry across for this race, and we've had to reapply them. So if we just take a look, we've got coming for Belgium the drag update on the front wing, that's the gurney flap update, and over on the chassis side of things we've also got the cable assembly coming, and the rear floor under tray came in this race. So, oh yes, sorry, we are thinking about taking the heat dispersing wheel rims for the next race as well, but we're going to wait until we've banked the points at the end of this Grand Prix and then have another decision about where we go from here. If we just take a look at where we lie in the charts in terms of everybody else, having taken the cylinder head across to this race, we are now just behind Mercedes and in front of Ferrari in terms of the development on the powertrain. In terms of aero, we are a little bit further down the pack in terms of aerodynamics, so we do need to focus some attention still in that particular department. And then on the chassis side of things, we are still right down the bottom, but not quite as bad off as both Williams and Racing Points. Okay, so our race strategy for this one is going to be the high time management option, unless of course we have anything happen during the race that dictates something different. We will use the 26 kilograms worth of fuel, which will allow us to have a really kind of hefty start off the line against the rest of our opposition. So the 5 red lights are out and the Hungarian Grand Prix is go. And swamped down the right hand side by a Force India and had to get late on the brakes there, getting punted left, right and centre bit from behind. I can only imagine who that is. Yes, Lance Stroll. Let's try and settle into this because it's going to be a bonkers race by the looks of it. Stay with these guys. Take the back of Perez there because he was overtly slow. That's what you call avoiding action. Low Stroll again. We've used up all of our fuel in that opening lap. Stroll up there. Good traction off of that corner. Tries to defend from us, but we give him, show him the door. Puts us back on the tail of Norris. Too much over that left hand curb. Way quicker through this sector than the AI at this stage in the race. As I decide to go wide there. Stand on the brakes then. We're a bit short on fuel, we're going to have to manage that at some point. Norris with the lock up there, going to try and go around the outside. Get him into the next turn. Hang him out around the outside and we've done that, so Perez is our next target. Do some lifting and coasting at stages in this race to try to recover some of the fuel that we would otherwise be using up in the chase. Wide through there. Yellow flag. Who's out? Who's out? Oh no! It's Kimi! Oh, that's our teammate out of the race. He does obviously promote us one spot, but I'd rather see him collecting some points. So we've got a VSC while they get rid of Kimi off the track. VSC's over. Let's see if we can get on to the back of Perez now. Got up onto that curb a bit too much there. Somebody's causing a train. Where's Trulli when you need him? I think Magnussen might have a problem because he's holding this whole train up. It's like 5 people here potentially holding up as we try and go around the outside. Cut off at the pass by Perez though. Right, going to use everything we've got here. Rich mix, hot lap, DRS. And the outside, light on the brakes. DRS again. Magnussen putting up as usual robust bit of defending. Caught up to the back of Hülkenberg and Grosjean rather rapidly now as well, who are clearly also struggling, and Grosjean defending very early to the inside. Go into the right left pit path there. Stalking our prey here. We're catching Grosjean here. We're going to go down the outside as usual. Force him onto the inside so that we get that better line through the corner onto the DRS. And now it is time to chase Hülkenberg. Come on, Hulk. Okay, so we're going to try a run at the Hulk. On the other way this time, he's tried the switch back, which he's got. We've got DRS though, can we get him into the next corner? Meant a big old dive bomb, so I backed out of that. I'm supposed to be boxing this lap, so we've got to make a decision. Do we go one more on this tyre, give ourselves a better stint next time round, especially if we now don't have to think about the pit window of Kimi as he's out of the race. Friendly nudge there at the back of Hülkenberg. He'll do whatever he doesn't, and he's going in. Ah, no he isn't. He faked one. Trying to be fair to Hulk there. Okay, so Verstappen in 4th has a pit stop over us, which is to be expected. But we're now in the lead of Formula B effectively, when all the pit stops shake out. Bit of a wobble there, too much of an overspeed through that corner, and it's definitely time to get rid of this set of tyres. It's time to dive into the pits. Right, so we went in the pits in 5th place. I think we will shake out back in the lead of Formula B as we see the Racing Point pit crew. Oh, this can, yes, that was tight. strategy there with Grosjean. We're going to run in lean mode for a bit because I want to save some fuel up to have an attack at the Frenchman. Let's pull clear of the Frenchman and go off after Sainz. Jeez. Jeff was telling me the gap to Sainz is 6.7 seconds. It's built an almost unassailable lead in some respects. Is he on a reverse strategy, I wonder? He's on the medium. Does that mean that he started on that and he's still to make a pit stop to go onto the soft? It's a possibility. I can't see how he shuffled us in the window. We can now see him on the driver tracker. Sainz really starting to struggle on those tyres by the looks of it, because I think he did a massive undercut. Struggling for traction. Right, this is our go at it. And we've got DRS. We've got hold off the Spaniard. Okay, we've got enough fuel just about for the end of the race. They're lifting and coasting there just to add some additional fuel to the tank, let's say, from the calculation. And we managed to take that position off of Sainz. Best of the rest, basically. We finished in 7th place, ahead of all of the other rivals in Formula B.
Today. What a great win!
So once again, Anthony Davidson giving us props for our race through the pack. We started down in 13th, having had that poor qualifying on the Inters, but we managed to crawl our way back up. Obviously, the devastating part of the news here is that our teammate, Kimi Räikkönen, didn't actually finish, so he didn't collect any points, but obviously gave us an additional slot in the Formula B lineup, promoting us to 7th position when he went out of the race. So yeah, it was a fantastic race there. There was a lot going on in sort of the middle of the race just before the pit stops, and then we really sort of tailed off towards the end when we were trying to catch Carlos Sainz, and managed to do that just before the end of the race. So a really good result overall for us again. In terms of the standings, we now have 52 points, and that clears us slightly ahead of Sergio Perez. In the Constructors' Championship, we are still leading Formula B in 4th place ahead of Racing Point. So yeah, everything's going really well for us at this point in the championship. Hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, don't forget to hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel.